Winston Churchill is credited with the statement, "History is written by the victors." There's much debate about whether or not he actually did say it or not, but there is some truth to this statement. In this episode of Office of the Patriot, I'm going to touch on recent events in kindergarten through 12th grade public schools, where educators are not only promoting material that has no place in a public school setting, like LGBTQ ideology and graphic sex education, but also how these same educators and the boards who govern them are teaching a revised history that vilifies American exceptionalism and promotes victimhood and socialist ideals. Hello, and welcome to the Office of the Patriot. In this office, I try to make sense out of the nonsense of the progressive left. If you are a subscriber, thank you for your continued viewership. It is appreciated. If you are a returning viewer, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future presentations. And if you are a first-time visitor to my channel, well, congratulations on finding it. It's usually hidden by the YouTube algorithm. However, I do hope you find the content worth coming back for. My name is Myron Ybarra, and I'm your host. As I said in my previous presentation, there's been quite a few incidents that happened recently which warranted some more discussion. What's happening in K through 12 schools is one of them. So let's get into it. A 7th grade student, Jaden Rodriguez, displayed a patch on his backpack of the Gadsden flag, more commonly known as the Don't Tread on Me flag. The school overlords decided they did not like this patch and told Jaden that he couldn't have his backpack in the classroom. Jaden was prohibited from returning to class unless he removed the patch or gave up the backpack. Evidently, Jaden took the zero because Jaden's mother, Eden Rodriguez, was called in for a meeting as a result of Jaden missing so much class. In reality, they were just angry that this kid stood up for himself. The teacher told Miss Rodriguez that in order for her son to be able to return to class, he had to remove the patch from the backpack or remove the backpack from the school. Here's the Vanguard school lackey trying her best to explain why Jaden is prohibited from wearing his own backpack.
Thank you. Do they know what the Gadsden flag is? That it's a historical flag?
So the reason that they do not want the flag, the reason we do not want the flag displayed is due to its origins with slavery and slave trade. That is what was, as the reasoning behind them not wanting this displayed.
The Gadsden flag?
The Don't Tread on Me.
Okay. Which is the Gadsden flag? Okay.
To put an end to this upstart kid and her mother, or his mother rather, the teacher attempted to go for the knockout when she made the claim that the offending flag has its roots in slavery and the slave trade and was thus prohibited. Whoops, swing and a miss. Jane's mother was quick to advise her of the true origins of the Gadsden flag. And I think she didn't know what the Gadsden flag was because she responded with the Don't Tread on Me flag as if asking a question, which we all know is the Gadsden flag. I mean, if you're going to say you're enforcing a rule, it would probably be a pretty good idea to know the rule and how the Gadsden flag falls into the rules prohibited category.
What's going to happen if he doesn't take it off?
He is able to go. I was actually just telling him, I was upset that he was missing so much school. I'm like, so I asked him, can he just take his stuff out of his bag and go back to class? I just wanted to go back to class. The bag can't go back. It's got the patch on it because we can't have that in and around other kids. So that's what I was trying, and then he said you were close. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with slavery. That's like the Revolutionary War patch that was displayed when they were fighting the British. That's the revolution. Maybe you're thinking of the Confederate flag.
Okay, I am
just here to enforce.
No, I am here to enforce the policy that was provided by the district. And
the inept enforcer goes on to say that the school cannot allow the Gadsden flag, a flag that has its roots in the Revolutionary War that gained the United States its freedom, to be viewed by other children. Why is that? Well, it's because the school can't allow independent thought. Schools are no longer halls of learning, they're indoctrination camps. And students having any type of independent thought is something that has to be squashed quickly. Jaden's mother attempts to educate the educator by giving her some history of the Gadsden flag. However, the school's brown shirt is undeterred and claims that she's just enforcing district policy. Now, what I believe is happening is that she's using district policy as the tool to stifle speech she doesn't like. The problem here is she didn't expect a mother like Miss Rodriguez to come to her son's defense. One of the more entertaining parts of the video is when Jaden himself speaks to the different types of flags and patches he has seen other students wear while the school lackey gives him the stink eye. Good on you, Jaden.
I think it's like one-sided, because you allow some patches but not other
Other kids
patches.
have patches like other names and like the American flag and backpacks.
Yeah. That was like flown during the revolution with.
This case ends on a good point, however, because the school district clarified their policy with this statement. At this time, the Vanguard School Board and the district have informed the student's family that he may attend school with the Gadsden flag patch visible on his backpack. On the flip side of this, a Washington school district, I believe it's the Richmond district, or Richland district rather, upheld the teacher's right to display a full-size Black Matter Lives flag and an LGBTQ flag in the window of her classroom. So kids in her class see the flag as well as all the students who go by that classroom who might not even have her as a teacher. When a parent got word of this, they attempted to use both informal and formal channels to get the flag removed. However, the district administrator upheld the teacher's right to display the flag, citing First Amendment protections and the school's commitment to inclusion. Looks like these separate cases highlight the radical left's commitment to rules for thee, but not for me. I believe this case is still pending closure, but if anyone has any information about this case, please post it in the comment section. Behavior like this from school officials is becoming more and more prevalent. First Amendment protections are being protected for some people and violated for others. History is being amended or completely disregarded during the indoctrination processes that these schools are using in the name of teaching children. In Clark County, Nevada, for instance, the Curriculum and Instruction Division currently has all of their social studies and world language textbooks under review for junior high and high school students. Who knows what's going to be removed and what's going to replace it? In the contentious Commonwealth of Richmond, Virginia, leftists are fighting Governor Youngkin's proposed changes to the state's history and social science standards of learning. One of these proposals includes delaying elementary school children, little kids, delaying teaching them about LGBTQ plus history. Now, I don't know about you, but that appears to be pretty reasonable to me, because if it was up to me, there would be no instruction on any LGBTQ issues in public school. That topic should be reserved for parents and guardians to have with their children. There's some hope that reasonable heads will prevail against the radical left, however. Lawmakers in Oklahoma passed House Bill 2988, which revises how slavery is taught in schools. This bill was proposed to ensure that the goal of the 1619 Project in rewriting American history would be tempered by limiting these subjects to higher grade level students. It removes the fallacy that only white people were slave owners and only blacks were slaves, and that America has more culpability than other nations for the institution of slavery. And this flies in the face of radical leftist dogma and is a serious roadblock to the sales pitch that equity is the path to right the wrongs of slavery and racial bias. And let's not forget my biggest pet peeve, or one of them anyway, the removal of cursive writing from many school curriculums. The primary argument leftists use to remove or for the removal of cursive writing from school curriculums is that it has been replaced by technology. Most correspondence is done electronically, and when physical mail is used, it's normally for pre-printed forms. Well, pre-printed forms require a signature. Students who don't learn cursive writing can really never have a signature. They also can't read cursive, and that is the big problem. Cursive was the primary method of creating our founding documents. If many Gen Z and all of Gen A students can't read or write cursive, then they can't really know what the original documents contain. Sure, there's a bunch of block printed versions of these documents online, but there's no real way to vet the information without going to the source. And if you have no way to read the source, then you have to rely on the information as it's presented. Seems like an ideal situation for people who want to rewrite history. What I find interesting is that the radical left is all for removal of cursive writing. However, all of the writings of anti-slave documents, to include the Emancipation Proclamation, were written in cursive. All of this effort to indoctrinate children at the expense of truth kind of solidifies the fact that the Democrat Party and the leftist rulers who are pulling the strings don't really care about children or racism or American history as a whole. They're using schools and the lemmings that work in them or run them to further their end goal of control under the guise of caring about specific groups of people they convinced are underrepresented Americans. They have told these people that they're all victims, and instead of trying to make a difference in their lives by treating them as you would treat any other person, by treating them equally, they buy them with platitudes and a national holiday or some other token recognition in exchange for a vote right now and obedience later on. This concludes today's presentation of Office of the Patriot. If you enjoy the content, please take time to like, subscribe, and share my channel on your social media. It is appreciated. And as always, have a blessed day and stay safe out there.